This year we will celebrate 100 years since registration of Tallinn Jewish Sports Society Maccabi. We dedicated to this event an exhibition which opened in the Gallery of Memory in the Jewish Museum of Estonia. Exhibition is divided on two parts. The first one is dedicated to the organizations, and the second one to the destinies of people who were connected with sport life in Estonia. Here we see the document which bring us the memory about the first sport organization of Jews on the territory of modern Estonia. In the city of Valk, now it's divided between Latvia and Estonia. In July 1917 was established the first Jewish sport organization. It was established by the pupils of Valk town school, and as I told, it became the first Jewish sport organization here in Estonia. When the war for independence was finished, there were 5 Maccabi organizations in Estonia before the Second World War. In Tallinn, in Narva, in Tartu, Pärnu and Valga. Here we see documents about registration of Maccabi organization in Narva. They called themselves Hebrew Sport Organization Maccabi. They started the process of registration in April 1922, but it was an unfortunate process because there were a lot of errors in their documents, and they should to correct all mistakes. And only in May 1922 this organization was registered. Why those documents are so interesting for us now? Because we saw names, addresses, and even pictures of place there where those people lived in this time. So we can touch the history of creation of Jewish sports organization in Estonia. The registration of Jewish Sports Society Maccabi in Tallinn went very quickly without any errors. And here we see those documents. We see the picture of the first board of Maccabi and the flag of this organization. Maccabi in Tallinn was established in 1920, but officially it was registered only in 1921. That is why we publish the special album dedicated to this event. The author of this album, the president of Estonian Maccabi, Mr. Avi Dobresh. In our museum we have a lot of materials and pictures about the Estonian Jewish sportsmen. But here in this exhibition we decided to show a few materials from Estonian media about tournament with participation of Jewish sportsmen. Here you see the article in Pärnu local newspaper, Pärnu Päevaleht, about football match between Tallinn and Pärnu Maccabi teams. And local newspaper wrote that they invite all football fans to come on this match because the quality of Tallinn football team is very high, and this match will be very interesting. The result was in favor of Tallinn team. They win with score 3-1. Besides Jewish Sports Society Maccabi, in Estonia there were a few other organizations engaged also in sports and in political activities, such as Zionistic activity. One of them were Brit Tumperdor or Beitar organization, which were founded in the beginning of the 30s. The aim of this organization was to prepare Jewish youth for repatriation to Eretz Israel, and that is why they organized sport camps. They made trainings, special trainings for them. And here you see documents about registration of this organization, their flag, and the picture from their sport camp. During the 30s, a lot of Estonian Jewish youngsters made Aliyah to Israel, to Palestine. And that is why the membership of Beitar was very small this time. So the last chairman of Beitar, Tuvia Mayofis, decided to start termination of this organization. He started the time when Estonia was independent country, and they sent his application to the Ministry of Interior Affairs, but this process was very slow, and in 1940, at the middle of 1940, it was a change of power, and Estonia was occupied by Soviets. That is why he couldn't continue his process of liquidation, and he received the order from NKVD to give all the assets of this organization to the newborn communist young organization, or Komsomol as it called, which they were ideological enemies of Beitar, but it was a reality of this time. At the beginning of 1941, he was arrested for his Zionist activities, imprisoned, and he spent 10 years in Gulag, and after 2 years in exile, he returned to Tallinn, and in 1975 he made Aliyah to Israel, where he died in 2006. But the destiny of his family was not so lucky like his. When Nazi occupied Tallinn, it was an order that all Jews should register themselves in police. And his older brother, Mordche, came to police station and wanted to be registered as Jew, but he was arrested and imprisoned. After 2 weeks, his father was arrested also. And then when his mother came to see what happened with his son, she was also arrested in a police station, and all his family was imprisoned. And then we found the name of Mordche Mayofis, Leib Mayofis, and Bassi Mayofis on the list of murdered Jews before October 6, 1941. The last part of exhibition described the destiny of one of the famous Estonian sportsmen, Savel Kletski. He was famous in motorcycle sport. He had a lot of records of Estonia. He participated in also in international championships, and was very honored sportsman in Estonia. About him wrote the sport lexicon of 1937, where also mentioned that he was very active in Tallinn Maccabi sports society. Also, local newspapers wrote a lot about his sport achievements. When started the war between Soviet Union and Nazi Germany, he was mobilized to the Soviet army, We don't know what happened with him. His wife thought that he retrieved to the Soviet Union along with Soviet army. But in reality, his destiny was completely different. We found in archive this document. They told us that Savel Kletski was murdered in Kuressaare on the island of Saaremaa, and because he was Jewish. His wife and 6-year-old son succeeded to survive until April 1942. Until this time, practically all Estonian Jews were killed already. But at the beginning of April 1942, Bela Kletski, the wife of Savel Kletski, was arrested. Here we see the protocol of investigation. She described her life, and she wrote that she did not participate in any communist activities. Anyway, she was also arrested, and she tried to write a letter to her homemade, asking to take care about her son, Leo. But unfortunately, this letter did not reach this person to whom it was addressed, because on the next day we see the special report that her son Leo is still free, and here we see the special order to arrest 6-year-old Leo Kletski. And then the last document, this is a report about that Bela Kletski and Leo Kletski imprisoned, and we see this mark executed. So it means that both of them were murdered in the central prison. So this is the destiny of two families which were connected with sport life in Estonia, but unfortunately they finished during Holocaust. And Leo Kletski is one of the 130 Jewish children which were killed during the Holocaust. Now, Jewish sports society Maccabi restored in 1990, and they continue the traditions of Maccabi organizations of pre-war period.